but he ain't listen to me, but he ain't listen to me, but he ain't listen to me. I tried to talk to him. He ain't listen to me, but he ain't listen to me, but he ain't listen to me, but he ain't listen to me.
What up, though?
Hey.
Hey, y'all see I got a co-host in the building, man. For the new season of Straight Talk with Spaceship, but I got my sister in the building, Miss Lola.
Hey.
What up, Lola?
Nothing over here working.
Over here working. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, who you represent.
I am Lola for everybody that calls me Lola, but I'm also known as Backwood Bobby's wife. So I manage our wife. I run the shop. I make shirts. I do a lot of stuff.
You do everything. And so, I wanted to, for this season, y'all, I wanted to kind of outside my box. For me, I talk for an hour, and sometimes y'all listen, sometimes y'all don't. But I wanted to bring somebody in. I wanted to bring a woman's perspective. And I went out and I searched and I looked and I had a lot of people that hit me up like, yeah, I co-host with you. But my sister, she's always been a person of wisdom, and through a lot of things that we know, she's been really calm and her perspective is dope. So I want to bring her on Straight Talk. So this is our first episode together. I'm excited about it, and we're going to talk about some things. So today's episode 43, and y'all see the title, Soft Parents and Tissue Paper Kids. Let me post that up there, y'all. Soft parents make tissue paper kids. And how this came about, and Lola, I know you saw it a little bit. The teacher, the substitute teacher that got into the fight with the student. And I actually talked to the teacher. I tried to see if I can get her on the show tonight. So I don't know if she responds in enough time, we'll get her on the show or whatever. But that's become a problem in society. How kids think that they can buck up and disrespect parents.
But it's not even just parents. It's all authority figures. They do the same thing to their own parents.
They do. So my first point or my first question is, where do you think this comes from? What do you think the gap happened in the generation era? Generations.
I honestly feel like the gap happened when families stopped helping raise children. Not necessarily, well, wait, let me stop. No, I will say raise, because my aunties and uncles helped raise me. So it wasn't just my mama. Yes, I had a mom and I had a stepdad that were active in my life, like full active in my life. But my grandparents, my great aunties, my uncles, older cousins, anybody who was over the age of me had my respect from the age of whether you were 11 months older than me to not. Families nowadays, it's a bunch of kids raising a bunch of kids. And their mentality is, well, you're not going to talk to my kid like that, or they can't talk to you like this, or they can't do that. So they have these mindsets set up in these kids' heads to where they feel like, oh, well, you just my teacher. You can't do nothing to me anyway. So
you're just an adult.
Exactly.
And I so agree with that. Shout out to my bro Young Hey. Shout out to Young Star. What up, baby? So I see that when I used to stay in apartments, I used to say that a lot. Like people were like, and I think as adults, we've gotten to this culture of it's not my business. And we come from a culture where it takes a village to raise a child.
Exactly.
And so that term has been lost in society because we'll see a kid sagging, or we'll see a kid stealing, or we'll see a kid cussing. And instead of saying something and correcting that behavior, we'll just move on. And so I asked you, is our generation scarier than our previous generation? Because it's not my business. We're so scared of kids now. Do you think we're scarier?
But I feel like they're scarier because I don't know. I really don't even like. First of all, they let kids have way more opinions than what we were allowed to have, if that makes sense. We
Oh,
were, of course, we were entitled to our opinions because your opinion as a child matters, but really, it didn't, because I'm the adult. I'm telling you what's best for you. This is what's going to get you to where you need to be in life. And when I lay this plan out for you to do, this is what you're going to follow. But when you go on your own path, you see where that leads you. So we were never, we were just raised different.
hold on one second. And I agree with that. I so agree with that. Like we were. I see kids in their parents' conversations. I see parents being their friends, and young Hayes say no fathers in the household. I don't know about that either, because
But see, I said that earlier. I do feel like that's something, and it's not even necessarily in the household, but the women nowadays, they hold their kids as ransom.
yeah,
Our mamas, go see your daddy. Okay. You need that father figure. And I was just talking to Narcus about this earlier. I was like, even in a girl's life, I can do as much as I can, but she still needs her daddy. Like in the house, out of the house, you still need your daddy, because then you have women that grow up with daddy issues. And even though my stepfather was in my picture, my real dad wasn't there. So you would think because I had a male figure in my life that I wouldn't have daddy issues, but I still had daddy issues because he wasn't my dad.
right.
So I do feel like a father not being in the picture on male end and female end does have a lot to do with that, because like you said, mamas nowadays are having babies for the clout. You want to be able to take a picture. This is what I created. Look what I put on my baby. It's not about raising kids anymore. It's about having something that you can post and get social media clout for.
I've seen so many women with baby fever lately. Like, oh, they
Yeah.
want it. They don't even care who the father is. They don't
No.
care. They don't care if they're married,
No.
which is something that's very serious in the Black community. I don't know how it goes in the European community. I'm not European, but I see with Black people, they'd rather have a baby. And I was watching something earlier. Who was it? Different Perspective, and he was talking about how kids would have the father's last name before the woman.
Yes. But that's because in our community nowadays, they want somebody that's put together versus somebody that you got to help build to get to the man that you need him to be. They ain't looking like back in the day. Women were more choicey, I would say, about who they had their kids with, because it's not just about this moment. I got to look at my kids' long-term future. Like, I don't know what your mental health is in your family. I don't know what your, and y'all just out here having kids with people and have no idea what their family lineage is. Like, you don't know nothing about this man except he got some money. And that's what y'all looking at. It's like, what? He got some money, but his third cousin is slow. They got heart problems on every side of the family. Like, y'all have no idea what is going on with these people.
Yep. I so agree with that. I so agree with that. We don't take the time. And so what's happening now is that these parents are they're more protective of their kids. Like I say, kids don't even go outside and play no more.
No,
they
don't.
They're on their phone. They're in the house on
and
the video.
That happens entirely too much, because there's entirely too much grown stuff happening on websites that they can get onto, because we were not allowed to. I mean, AOL, by the time it dialed up, your mama was standing there looking to see what the hell you was doing. So we didn't have phones.
Nigga, we
we
had a house phone, but I was always fearful that my grandma would pick up that other line and just steal on that.
Exactly. My mom and them had the wireless in their room, and the main phone was upstairs. And when it was time to go to bed, all the phones would go with my mom and them to their room, and it ain't no phones where you are. It's bedtime. Phone time is over. Like, there's no, kids don't have that. They don't have that nowadays. Kids can do what they want to do. They can look up what they want to look up. It's not even on the social media, all you have to do is be able to put a birth date in. You can Google how old you got to be able to get on this stuff. So it's not like that it's making it rocket science or anything for kids to be able to get on to the things that adults are able to get onto.
I saw an article TikTok, and it said minors can only get on there for like 60 minutes. Excuse me. It said like minors can only get on there for 60 minutes, so they're making something like that. Now, that's the first thing I thought. Like, how do you know it's a minor? All they got to do is change their birthday.
That's it.
How do we regulate the things that these kids are seeing? How are we regulating the things that these kids are doing? You know, we have YouTube and TikTok, Instagram, and then from there, these kids are making 3-4 accounts.
Yes.
Now, even if you get the first one, you gotta worry about the second one and the third one.
Yes.
And so many times these kids, and then when you take stuff, when we got on punishment, we were on punishment.
Punishment.
And it hurt. We didn't want to be on punishment. Now punishment is you're gonna be in your room. Well, hell, like I'm
with your phone and your computer and your tablet. So even if you're taking the phone away nowadays, they got a tablet to play on. You got your TV, which still has Netflix, YouTube, all of the stuff that's on your phone is still accessible to you, even without you having your phone or your computer. You can still watch these things from the phone. So that's why whenever Nia gets in trouble, not only does she get in trouble from her phone, now you're running from YouTube because that's what you want to watch. You can't watch YouTube. Nothing that you can watch on your phone are you able to watch in my house. I'm not going to take the TV from you because you ain't going to watch it anyways. You're not going to find no movie on there to go watch. You want to get on YouTube. You want to be able to go watch the little YouTube shows and stuff like that. So when you're running from your phone, you're also running from YouTube because that's where you want to be at. But they don't know what punishment is. These kids don't get whoopings. We talked about that earlier too. Nobody whoops their kids no more because your kid telling on you. I feel like they need ass whoopings. That's why the thing with the teacher happened.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't scared of adults no more. That's the problem. Kids are no longer scared of adult figures.
I saw somebody on my
They're
post.
not. I was scared of
No, I made a post today about it, and I was and said, you know, I was bad, and a lot of parents don't know what their kids do at school. And I agree, kids are totally different sometimes from what they are at home as opposed to school. But I always had a fear that I'm never going to disrespect an adult nowhere.
Yeah,
they might tell my grandma.
Exactly.
And now, even so, and it goes back to the parents. We have less parents going to parent-teacher conference. So guess what? They don't know the teacher. We got more parents coming to the school arguing with the teacher instead of listening to the teacher. So that makes it feel like they can buck up. And going to the subject of this young lady, how did you feel about her? Did you watch the video? Did you see the video?
I seen bits and pieces of it, but I have not watched the video thoroughly. I watched and I read the clippings to what they were saying actually happened, and that's how I actually seen what happened. But I do not disagree with the teacher. I'm going to be honest. I worked in childcare for 20 years before I went to working in a dispensary. So with that being said, I know, like you said, kids are different in front of their parents than they are in front of regular adults, because even us as a generation, we were different from how we were in front of our parents as well. But we didn't disrespect parents. I mean, we didn't disrespect anybody. It wasn't even just parents. It wasn't teachers. It wasn't anything. But what'd you say?
Oh no. I actually, it was my fault. I actually turned on the video. I'm finna turn on this video.
Okay.
Let's go back. I wanna play this video for the world. So if y'all haven't seen this, we're gonna play this video of this young lady and this teacher fighting. Let's go ahead. Let's check this out real quick, and we're gonna go to the whole video. And let's see what it is.
That's on my mom. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Somebody get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a teacher. Get a teacher. Somebody get a teacher. I don't give a fuck. Get out. Get a teacher. Get a teacher. Get a teacher. Get a teacher. Get a teacher.
All right. Now you seen the whole thing. What
Okay.
what do you think?
I still feel like she was not wrong. It is not wrong to defend yourself against anybody if you feel threatened. She said more than once, don't touch me. And that's with anybody. That's grown up, that's kid, that's anybody. Don't touch me means don't touch me. You're in my personal space. And if you're in my personal space, that means you're too close to me. And if I've asked you twice, but then for you to swing off on me, and the first time she let it go, the second time is when she went ahead and wailed off on you, because now by this point, you know, I pushed you off me, said move, don't touch me. You steady coming back. Now you want this ass whooping like the grown person you feel like you are in my classroom. Because
That's real. That's real. Like, I can only warn you so much. And I read something that one of the kids actually put up, and they said the girl once again gave the kid that video to go fight her. And she was a sub, so they didn't have. I'm in the school system. I know how they treat substitute teachers.
yes,
Treat substitute teachers real bad. You don't know shit. As a substitute,
Yeah.
I'm walking. I don't know shit. I don't know what y'all supposed to be learning. I probably don't know the curriculum. I don't know your name. So you think you got something over on me. I took
yes,
my nose up. You kept cursing and disrespecting me. Who do you think you are?
exactly.
And
Exactly.
that ass whooping was an ass whooping your mama or your daddy or your grandma or your auntie should be giving you.
Exactly.
The ass whooping that you deserve, you wouldn't have been getting to that school. Now you get off me. No, nigga, ain't no get off. Ain't no get off me now.
No, because by now, when I was asking you to get off from in front of me, you didn't want to move. You didn't want to move. And you had prime time to move. But like you said, these kids they're not scared of adults. We feared my mama coming to this school. And if you tell my mama after you whoop my ass, my mama finna whoop my ass, because why you up here showing out at this white people's school? Now I got to come up here. You didn't embarrass me up here disrespecting the teacher. You didn't put your hand on the leg. Now you didn't got beat up. So now you finna get ass whooping because I didn't have to leave my job, come up here and discuss with this principal what you just did at school, and now you finna be at my house too because you suspended. Like,
and that's that you can tell. And people hate generalizations and things of that nature and say, okay, kids act different, but you can tell how that girl was raised, because even if she had no matter how hood and gangster I acted when I was younger, when I got around adults, even when I go home to Michigan right now and I see people from church, I'm still yes, ma'am. I'm still yes, sir. I'm
exactly.
careful of not to smoke in public. I don't know who's gonna see me. You know what I mean? Let me see. Tag Robert here. Say the quote: "Raise your kids, spoil your grandkids. You spoil your kids, you will have to raise your grandkids." And that's real.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
real. You know, we and even as a parent, as a father, and I know, you know, I'm heavy-handed and stuff. Sometimes I don't want to whoop my kids, or I don't want to discipline my kids. I've been told that I'm, you know, my attitude is sometimes, but sometimes you got to do that shit for kids.
Yes, you do.
You can't be a soft parent. You can't say "oh," or you can't keep blaming everybody else but the kid.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why as a parent, you know your kid. That's why my experience working in childcare, I believe my child to a certain extent because I know you. I know what you will do. I know you got a sassy attitude. I know you have the potential to be sassy, but I know you're not going to disrespect the teacher. I know you're not going to do anything that is going to get me called up to this school. So that's where it goes to believing what teachers are saying whenever y'all have the parent teacher conference. Like you said, nobody goes to parent teacher conference. So when we go to a parent teacher conference, I can decipher what was my child and what wasn't my child, because I know what Nia will do. I know you got a sassy mouth. I know you might roll your eyes, snap your neck. If a teacher tells me you doing that, I believe them because you do it. I've seen you do it. So it's not always, well, mama, she did. Okay, but what did you do for this to happen? Because there's no reason for a teacher.
When I go to parent conference, I also feel the teacher out.
Exactly.
Now,
You have to.
is the teacher scary? Is the teacher strong? Is the teacher gonna get in your ass? I told you the other day, I have never had a parent that I've had to talk to. Once we talk, leave that meeting and say, no, Mr. Jones can't do that. They be like, Mr. Jones, if you need to get my kid, please do.
Exactly.
Please do. But the problem is people have to come up there.
Yes, that is the problem. They don't go. Everybody has their own stuff that they have to do. Like, I understand you have work. I understand you have, but without going up there and seeing what your children are doing. But that's why it's so many children that are behind, because parents are less active in their kids' lives versus working. You're going to have to work. Your bills have to get paid. That's the inevitable. That's always going to have to happen. But raising your child, you're raising our future. These are the people that are going to be over us when we get old enough for somebody to be. These are our next things to that such. And y'all out here just raising them like, we don't care. Like, everybody has an opinion about everything. Oh, Lord.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me turn my mic on and off. Hold on.
Okay. Let's tell Dee to call on that.
So you think that the Black community is too obsessed with getting the bag?
Yes, they are. To me, it's the entrepreneur. Ever since COVID and entrepreneurship became trending, is what I call it, because it was not something that was ever trending. People were okay with going to go work their 8 to 5, be off on the weekends, do what you do for your family on your off time. Now everything is about, oh, I got to get my bag. I got to get my bag. So your kids are raising themselves. Your kids is at the house by themselves because you out trying to chase a bag that's going to be there. Like, you can chase a bag from 8 to 5 and still be a parent. Like, millionaires don't work 24 hours. Millionaires sleep 8 hours a day.
I think we chase the bag a lot of times to waste more money. Because you mentioned earlier how we got to pay bills because food is there, food is there. Typically, if you handle your business as far as school or business-wise or whatever, you're going to make enough money to take care of your necessities and have a little change left over.
Yes.
Since for the last 6 years of my life when I left open mics, I have been getting 55% of the check. And I ain't been evicted yet. Exactly. I ain't missed the car yet.
Exactly.
So don't come to me and talk to me about, oh, I got to get the bag. My kids, like, I hear, and yeah, fix that.
I know. Your brother's calling. Hold on.
Tell that nigga we on air. We on air, little nigga. Shout out Cassie. Shout out Ken Dukes. What up, Lita Lee? Hey, baby. Shout out to Robert. What's up, bro? I did not know you like wrestling, man. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy. Go ahead and see Spaceship. I got my girl Lola.
Me.
I already know. This Straight Talk with Spaceship, episode 43. Soft parents make tissue paper kids. And we're just talking about the whole situation and how these kids have been raised lately and just how they go. And a lot of times when we're chasing the bag, and I know the absentee fathers or whatever, and I'm gonna speak to them fellas in a minute. But I hear more women, you know, and I hear things like they want to get the best, they want to have their best life, you know, they want to live their best life. They're that Daffy Duck, that's what my baby call it, Daffy Duck. But they want to live their best life. They want to make sure they're secure in all this. And I understand sometimes they got to work a little bit harder than most people, but we cannot, even no matter what of your circumstance, no matter what your circumstances. Everybody has circumstances. Like I say, me and my oldest daughter, Jayla, you know, our relationship was a little tainted because I was homeless, and it was my fault. It was my fault. I was out chasing the bag. I was on tour more than I was taking care of her, and I understand that. You know, fortunately, she has a great mother. We still have a decent relationship. So she's a good kid. So she don't put too much onus on her. When you do that, when you leave your kid to their own devices, you cannot think the best of these kids. No matter how much you think your kid is great, your kid gonna look at some shit. They gonna listen to some shit. They gonna read some shit. They gonna see the shit that you seeing. Why? Because they see you seeing that shit.
Yes.
They want to know what mama's looking at. They want to know what daddy looking at. You know what I'm saying? And we be careful that we're not leaving these kids to their own devices too much.
But we are, because they have so much access to them. Like, it's so many parental things that you can use to control your kids' time management on social media and apps. And I mean, I honestly feel like it should be an age limit to everything. Like, even as a parent, like, you set your own rules and regulations. Like, no, you can't have this. No, you can't have that. And it's ways for you to be able to check. It's parental apps you can put on their phone. Shut their whole phone off at 7 o'clock. If they on punishment, you can lock their phone until you tell them they're off punishment. And it tells you if they log onto their phone or if they get onto their device. It tells you if they do any of this, it alerts your phone. But parents aren't doing that because cell phones are babysitting our kids nowadays. Give him a phone. He'll be quiet. It's 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds out here that know how to use a phone better than I do.
Yep. I talked to my homegirl back home, and every time I call her, she'll say like, "Oh, my niece got my phone. My niece had my phone. My niece had my phone." Like, and I be thinking like, how old is your niece? She 5. You giving her your phone? Like, stop going to the club. Get her a tablet and lock that. Get her a tablet. You should be on that phone. Why is she on your phone? And she probably nowhere around you. Or even if she is, you ain't paying attention to her.
No.
You know, I have
just unlocked. You have apps on your phones. You got whatever you got on your phone. You grown. So whatever you got on your phone is what you got on your phone. But that don't stop a kid from scrolling. That don't stop a kid from getting on here and seeing what you looking at. That don't give a kid a chance to not like. Adult phones are adult phones. There's adult stuff that's on an adult phone, which is why, like you said, tablets should go in place. Computers, you can even get them a laptop. If you don't want to get them no tablet, get them a laptop. Laptops is the cheapest thing. Tablets, hell, right now too. All you got to do is have Wi-Fi at the house.
A Chromebook and a flip phone, if they really need it.
Yeah.
Like my son was 9. His mom was like, "Oh, I caught him on the phone looking at something crazy." And my first thought was, why he got a phone? He's always with an adult. He's not going to the park to play basketball by himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When we was growing up, we needed phones.
We did.
Like on the other side of town.
All the way on the other side of town.
Kids with bikes. Like, why your kid got a phone? Your kid is at school. If they got a problem, they go to the office. Why your kid got a phone?
But nowadays, with the things that are going on in schools, now I do not totally disagree with the phone. I do not. But like you said, it doesn't have to be the most up-to-date phone. You can have a basic phone that calls out so you can reach me. Because there are, for instances, where even though Nia may be with an adult, she may not be with me and her dad. So it's for you to be able to call me if something happens, because you can talk. So if anything happens, that you need to be able to call and communicate some things with me, because what I've realized is that she doesn't even be on her phone as much when she's not around me as she does when she's away from me. Because when she's away from me, she's playing. It's kids there. Yeah. She's the only child at home. So if we're at the shop or wherever we are, it's easier for her to get on her cell phone and find something to do. But also outside of this cell phone, me being, like you said, coming from being a teacher, you got school books at the shop. So you do your lesson, you have your after school snack, you do your lesson. Once you get all of this paperwork done, go ahead and play on your phone, because now you've done what you needed to do outside of your learning at school. You don't have no homework. You've done your lesson for the shop. Go ahead and play on your phone.
Yep. But see, once again, I say get a flip phone. Then you get this tablet. Tablet cheap. less than $99, you can get a tablet. So
Yeah.
do your lesson. But you got this flip phone you can call me on, and you ain't gonna have enough. But we getting these kids these smartphones. We're giving them access. A smartphone has rarely ever asked me my age when I downloaded something. They asked me for my username and my password.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's my whole thing. Like, get a fucking flip phone. If you need to call me, and even I say this, being in the school, even when these things happen,
yeah,
I don't know if it's good for a kid to have a phone, because then we see all these video footage.
Yeah, and fight footages and all of that different type of stuff.
I understand if there's a shooter at the school.
Yeah.
Call me after. If you can't call me after, then we'll set up your funeral. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but even if you call me, I don't want to hear you getting shot.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear, dude. I need, because you on the phone trying to talk to me and text me. I need you to do the drills that they giving y'all.
Yeah.
See them shits work.
Yes.
Because you calling me, I
can't
doing
do nothing.
I
can't do nothing for you.
I'm not gonna pull up. I'm not gonna pull up. This nigga got 17 guns.
Yeah.
So I understand, because a lot of kids, but and this is coming from me on this side. A lot of kids use the excuse of, I'm calling my mom, I'm texting my mom, I'm texting my dad, and I really be like, I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
If your mama needs to talk, we had a girl just a couple weeks ago. She was in her class. Her teacher came and got me. I came and got her phone, and her mom last week, or it was last week, it was last week. Mom got upset. Well, he was screaming at my kid. No, your kid said she didn't feel good, so she was texting her mom. Me and the teacher both said, "Do you need to go to the nurse?" You go to you can call your mom all you want in the nurse's office.
Yes.
I ain't got shit to do with the nurse's room. If you sick, go to the nurse. You say no, so give me the phone. Because 9 times out of 10, kids in school are texting each other on their phone, skipping on their phone, talking shit about folks on their phone, filming people and airdropping it on their phone.
Yes.
We had a lockdown drill last year, and a kid had an anxiety attack, and she was crying. Do you know a nigga took a picture under a table on his phone and posted that bitch to IG like instantly?
The phones are bullies nowadays. That's what kids use them for. So in that sense, I do understand that, which is where she takes her phone to school, but it's locked and it's on airplane mode in your backpack. You don't touch the phone until they tell you you're able to touch it, which is normally after school when you're waiting in the line for your car rider or your bus rider situation. It's not during a school situation, because like you said, her school has no problem calling me. She can go in there and say she got a headache 17 times, and they will call me and say she ain't got no fever, but if you want to come get her, she says she got a headache. Send her ass back to class.
Every school is like that. But
exactly.
Because once again, these soft ass parents not being involved don't know that.
Yes.
There's never a time a kid has asked me, can I go to the office and call my mom?
Yes.
The only time I've ever done that is when my daughter did that and she wanted to call her mom on me. Like, call her motherfucking ass. Goddamn me.
Tell her when you get home.
I want you to give me 3 things that you think of that have changed the dynamic to have these parents so soft. I want you to give me 3 things. Think of 3 things that have made these parents so soft.
Society making everybody feel like they're a victim. I do believe that in certain circumstances, people have been victimized, but it isn't an ass whooping in my life that I ever got that made me depressed or want to kill myself as a child because I got a whooping. Another thing that has changed the dynamics of the children, again, I'll go back to saying the village isn't helping raise, because grandmas are starting to be 36 and grandma still want to live her life, but it ain't my fault that at 16 you got a baby. So raise your baby. So now you and your homegirls is raising your baby, and y'all already raised up wrong. So y'all raising this child up totally incorrectly because you don't have nobody helping you. Then the third thing that I would say is again, father participation. I feel like fathers matter. I'm never not going to say that. Again, coming from a strong two parent home. Like my stepdad and my mom have been married for over 20 plus years. So I've always had a dad in my life, but it's something about my daddy versus my stepdad. It's something that you need from your daddy in your life, whether you're a male or a female. It's something that extra person in your life. And it's not even because, like, I don't know, I'm a soft parent. I don't whoop my baby, but I don't have to, because I can talk to her and she understands, hey, I need to do what I'm supposed to be doing, or this is XYZ is going to happen. It don't take me having to whoop her, because again, coming from being whooped as a child, no, it didn't traumatize me, but yes, I did want to do different with my own child and not have to whoop you, because I know how whoopings made me feel. But will I whoop your ass? Yes, I will. And I'm doing it from a place of love, because I don't want you out here acting crazy, fighting no teacher, because now I'm gonna have to whoop your ass too. So why you want to get beat up twice? I don't understand why you want this to happen.
Beat up twice. I really want to touch on that, like fathers, and I say this to the men who may possibly be watching and not tagging in and commenting. It is important that you are in your kid, that you forcefully try to make sure you're doing all that you can to be in your kid's life. Some of my kids I don't see, but I still text them. I still try to reach out. I got paperwork I need to do, but I try to, and I see that in schools because I am a mentor to a lot of kids. When I talk to a lot of these young ladies, I hear the father issues. And as much as women want to teach their daughters to be strong, independent women, you're not teaching them how to be lady.
No.
You're teaching them to be aggressive.
Yes, and I don't need a man for nothing. But you do. You do. You don't need a man to pay your bills. You don't need a man to do anything, but you do need a man.
Mm-hmm. You do need a man. And my grandfather, because I was raised with my grandma and grandfather, my grandfather was always the end boss. Okay. Like, I never wanted my granddaddy to whoop me. Granddad was so chill. Grandma would whoop my ass all the time. But when granddaddy whooped my ass, I knew I was really in trouble.
See, that was my mama. My mama was not the aggressor. My stepdad was the enforcer. He was the, yes, you don't do this. No, you don't do that. But my stepdad was also in the military. So we had that military upbringing. So it's like you said, that yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. It's been on a respect level the whole time. So if mama had to whoop you, you knew that you went too far, because she don't whoop us.
You know, yeah. What up, IJS? Shout out to IJS. Shout out to Miss Lala, Ohio in the building. And that was real. That was, everybody had an in-boss. Now these kids don't have an in-boss. Grandma, you say Grandma 36. Grandma ain't with you. Grandma laughing with you. Girl, that's so funny. No, that shit wasn't funny. That shit, my grandmama backhand was so quick. It was so quick, And I think when you talked about whoopings, like I feel like whoopings are okay.
Yes, they are.
I feel like whoopings are okay, but there's times even for me I don't whoop, because I don't need you going to school saying my dad, who happened to be an educator, put this bruise on me.
Exactly.
I still have bruises from whoopings, and no, I don't want to bruise. I don't want to bruise my kids.
No,
my kids, but I need to tap that ass every once in a while.
It's like a little kid. When a little kid reaches out to touch something hot, you pop them and you say no. So that's all a whooping is. Nobody's saying whoop a kid to traumatize them, but kids need whoopings. You need boundaries. You need to know what is right and what is wrong. And when you don't do that, because talking to kids nowadays is not getting it. Everybody wants to talk to them. Like Nia's school, I love her school to death. But as a child, if I needed a break from school or I was having a meltdown in school, we didn't get no area. They have a whole couch out in this little area, a whole little pod that is dedicated to a mental breakdown of a third grader. And I'm just like, what?
Breathe. 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 We didn't have that.
So I just feel like everybody is pacifying the children. And I don't know. It's something about that young parent raising a child, because you're still a child yourself. You're still getting raised yourself. You don't know how to be a grown up.
Let's be real though. Even back in the 30s and 40s, they were having kids at a young age.
They were.
They were having kids at a young age. It's not like this is new. A lot of this shit is new. The problem is, I think our generation said fuck it. And in the process of trying to break the generational curse, we got too over independent. We start believing our own hype. Instead, and at the same time, it's like, so for our kids, we say, well, I'm gonna treat my kids better than I was treated.
Yes.
But is that being, look at the kids nowadays?
Yes. And it's not necessarily better. It's not making them any better, because like you said, even on a note of people who are in their early 30s, because I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30. But even the kids that are 30, like you said, they're in a, well, I'm gonna give my kid what I didn't have. It's okay to give your kid things that they didn't have, but it was a reason why we didn't have the things until we were grown, and it made us appreciate it. Because I tell my nephews that all the time, like a cell phone. Nigga, cell phone. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 18 years old. I was walking around talking on my friend's cell phone, saying this is my phone number, because my mama was like, no, ma'am. When you turn 18, you can buy your own.
How about this? My senior pictures, I wore hats because I pierced my ears, and I didn't want my grandma to know. Now I got sixth graders with nose piercings. How am I not grown? I'm getting a nose piercing at 16 years old. What you said?
Yes.
Rita said that everybody gets an award era. Let me tell you. Hold on. Before I read the rest of your statement, I was at the chess tournament on Saturday, and they was talking about, okay, each school is going to give it. Each school is going to give an MVP award, and then we're going to give X awards or whatever. And a woman raised her hand, a little European Caucasian white woman raised her hand, and she said, does that mean everybody getting a award? And he said, no. And you could hear the deflation in the crowd. And I'm like, cool, we're going to have to fucking earn this shit.
Yes.
So, you mean, go out there and win this tournament.
Exactly.
Kids aren't allowed to experience adversity and challenges. If they do, they have mental health doctors. They have people in the counselors, and they have other groups that come into the schools. Like, it's okay to lose.
It is. You're not going to win at everything.
You're not going to win it. And that's the problem, because kids, like, I tell teachers a lot of time, the worst thing we ever did was No Child Left Behind.
Yes.
Some of these motherfuckers need to flunk.
Yes, they do.
Need to be embarrassed.
Yes.
Because if your parents didn't care, you would have dropped out. And I know this. Your parents care, so you come to school every fucking day.
Exactly.
An attitude. I told a teacher today, I said, when kids don't want to do work, they get an attitude. I don't give a fuck about the attitude. Flunk, nigga. Let me see you in this grade next year. I swear to God, I'm gonna laugh at you.
Exactly.
You need to be laughed at. You need niggas to be like, wait, I thought you last year wasn't you? Wait, hold on. What? These kids, fifth graders wearing fake nails. You have to learn how to deal with adversity. And I think I think you mentioned this. We're so sensitive.
Yes.
So everybody gets an award. We're so caught up in this moment that if a kid, we had spelling bees so kids can lose. Like, lost. I lost in the spelling bee. I was sad.
Yes. It made you want to go study harder. So next time you came, you got a fucking award.
I see these sports teams in our schools, and they talk all this shit at school. They hard as hell at school and get bullied on the field or bullied on the court. And I be laughing at it. Like, I knew you wasn't gangster, bro.
Man.
You just the gangsters nigga at the school. You ain't gangster though.
And I tell my nephews that all the time. Kids, like you say, social media is it makes kids feel like, well, that's what I want to be. So when you see people on here and you gang banging, you doing whatever you doing, X, Y, Z. These kids have no idea what that means. Most of these kids that are even in the gang banging era, you're not even living a lifestyle that would make you have to do anything that you're doing. And that pisses me off, because your mama is working. You live somewhere where it ain't even an issue over there where you live at, but you the hardest till you get around niggas that's actually doing what they say, what you say you doing.
The area I work in, it's been rezoned, but the houses in that area are real lucrative. The kids that go to school are real ghetto, but they're not real ghetto because you live close to these houses.
Yes,
I know better, bro.
exactly.
Even your parents wanted to stay close to these houses so they could feel this energy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They want to feel this energy. But, you know, it's crazy. It's your boy. Spaceship Awaits is incredible. I got my sis.
Hey, Lola Hardiman. How are you guys doing today?
In the building. This is Straight Talk with Spaceship, episode 43. Soft parents make tissue paper kids. Y'all make sure y'all check it out. This Saturday, Ganza, Michelle Renee, my brother Madness, Narcus is headlining, Tum Tum is headlining, DJ Lady J Rock on the ones and twos. Spaceship Oasis will be your MC for the evening. We got some crazy acts. Ganza, real quick. What are you excited about? Are you finally gonna come? Because you don't come to every event. You can come to every event. I know.
I cannot. I will not be there. He actually starts his tour tomorrow. So with him starting his tour tomorrow, he's going to Vegas and then he's going straight back to Dallas. And he got shows lined up from the time he drops back in Dallas on Friday. 420. I think he got a show. He got a show 419, 420, and then the Zaza on 422. So he had stuff planned all through the week. So no, I'm not gonna be able to make this one. So I wanted to come.
Tell him to bring me a package.
I'ma tell him.
But that's what's up. We here, man. Our parents make kids. One other thing I really wanted to talk on before we got up out of here tonight. Do you feel that because parents, do you think how much do you think kids see their parents not being shit? How much do you think that affects kids? And I'm not talking about like I guess I said overall. How much do you think what kids see parents doing really affects them? Like you can be out there getting the bag, but you ain't spending time with me. So that might screw you. You know what I'm saying? Or what up, Narcus? One time. My brother. What up, though? And you can see your parent not doing shit and be like, I'm not gonna do better. So how much you think that affects these paper?
I really feel like it affects your children mentally, and that's from seeing it on a younger side. And it affects them all the way up from little kids all the way up until they get to high school. And like you said, as a woman, my thing has always been, and especially having a daughter, I never want my daughter to see me being loved the incorrect way, because it's going to teach you, well, my mama did it. So that's what everybody's mentality is. Well, my mama went through, I seen, this is what I seen. Kids are a product of what they see. So if they see you doing this, and it may not even be necessarily be bad habits, but 90 times out of 10 in the society that we're living in right now, it is a bad habit. I'm not knocking the way nobody does anything the way that they do them. But back in the day, things were so more discreet. If you were a stripper, you weren't out here posting on social media with your bikini on saying this is what you're doing. You were a stripper, you made your baggie, you went to your kids' stuff 9 to 5 or whatever they had going on at their school, you was there. Everything has to be broadcasted on social media nowadays. Like, people don't know how to quietly do anything no more. So it affects everything, because everything is on these walls where it can never be erased at, because it's here forever. Once you post it up here, it's here. I don't care if they say they deleted it, somebody screen recorded it, and now it's on 12 other apps. So
there. It is so there.
But I definitely feel like what parents, they influence the way that their kids act emotionally, mentally, and most of the time what I learned is kids that are acting out in school are crying for help, which is why I tend not to be mean to the ones that are doing the attitude, because you got something going on at home. I don't know what you did with at home. You might not eat till you get to this school. You might not have a hug till you get to school. You might feel like This is your safe haven. So if I get mad at you, now you having a bad day because this is the only place that you can normally come to and get that somebody love me.
This place, it's so many things you just said that I just so believe. Like I remember growing up, and when my grandparents had a party on a weekend, we went upstairs.
We did too.
Hey, you better bring your ass downstairs
For nothing.
for nothing. Nigga, you already ate. And now they're at the party in the pictures, throwing up the middle finger with their mom. What the fuck? Or, you know, I tell teachers a lot of time, this kid might not have ate since lunch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so guess what they're learning? Parents, guess what they're learning? When you're going to happy hour, guess what they're learning? They don't think you need, and this is the thing, you don't always think you just need to get away.
Yes.
They think you don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand. Kids aren't able to understand the stress of adult life.
No.
They see us doing shows, they see us traveling, they see us living this good life, they see us talking all this crazy shit on Facebook. They don't see the mental struggles. So they're not, once again, it goes back to they're not able to deal with them.
And that is true.
You know,
Yeah.
and even though my parents never had me struggle, my parents never had me in a place of, you know, my grandparents never had me in a place of ever being scared of being evicted or whatever. But y'all do.
Yeah.
You get tax refund and you posting it.
Yes, or blowing it on bundles and giving. You can't tell nobody what to do with nothing that they have. But our parents were raised that, you know, even though this is my tax return, we paying these bills up because this is where you living at. Like our parents got tax return money, went and bought us school clothes up for the next 5-6 months because in 5-6 months now we back on our regular paycheck. So if I can get your school clothes out the way to last you up until the end of the school year, that's what I'm doing. These parents are so selfish because they like, well, this is my money, but then they got kids so awake that the kids is like, oh, well, that's my money. You only got that money because you claim me. So now kids feel like they entitled to the same thing the parents is because everybody got them feeling entitled to something.
I didn't even know about. I don't know who claimed me growing up. That wasn't my fucking business.
Exactly.
That wasn't my business. My money. That wasn't my business.
Grown people business was not your business. How bills got paid, we got into a car wreck with my uncle and them, and I know we got a return check, and my mama did what she was supposed to do. She went and bought us something, but it went to paying bills at our household because this is where you live, this is where you sleep, this is where you eat. I'm taking care of you.
How do you expect a kid? Now I ask this for the audience listening. How do you expect the kid to treat you as like a parent when you're treating them like a friend?
You can't. And I say that because I was on the friendship tip with Nia. So you can't. And now that she's coming into getting into those double digits, now we're having to find the boundaries to where, well, mama was always nice, but now mama's like, well, no, Nia. So now I'm having to find those boundaries, but you can't. Not when it's friend. Like I'm your parent. I'm always going to be your parent.
People think when you say parent and not friend, like that's a bad thing.
And it's not.
That don't mean we can't chill and have fun and hang out. That's what a parent does. I am not your friend. There is shit I've told my friend that I've never told my parent. There's shit I've done with my friend that I've never done with my parent.
Exactly.
I'm supposed to block you from dumb decisions.
Exactly.
Your friend you make dumb decisions with.
Exactly.
I'm not supposed to make dumb decisions with you.
No.
Ever.
No.
You know
And that's why I've had to separate it, because with her being an only child, I feel like I try to link that feeling like you by yourself. So that's where our friendship and our bond came from. But I also had to explain to her that my mama is my best friend. But like you said, there's things that my mama don't know about me. She's not going to know everything. She does not agree with everything. I got 32 tattoos on my body, and my mama don't agree with not one that I have on my body. Her and my grandma cuss me out every time I get a new one. But the things that still to this day at 30 plus years old, I don't do in front of my great aunties and uncles. I can't even raise my voice like how we're talking right now. If my mama said something to me and I said something in a tune, who you talking to?
Yeah.
Nobody. My bad.
Who is Who is No, no, that's so real. Like I said, when I took your pictures, I wore hats. I wouldn't see my ears here. Like, no, now it's well, be free. Do what you want. Yeah, that sounds shit. I understand. No, don't understand it. Sometimes you gotta know. When you turn 18, earn this shit.
Yes.
You get your shit done. If that's what you want to do, that's what
but
you
it makes life not worth living if you can do it all at 14, 12, and 13. Because what are the milestones that you're reaching? 18, 21. You don't get to see those because you've already done it.
But that's the problem. Kids ain't. I'm 12. I ain't seen 18. So I don't know how good this feel. All I know is I see it now and I want it now. As parents, we must stop that. As parents, we must say, no, you get this at X age. You get this at X age. I got 7-year-olds. I got 10-year-olds at my school with cell phones, with better phones than me. Like the fuck. I got kids, they got every pair of Jordans that ever came out. And I'm not saying your kid don't make your kid look good, but what are you honestly, what are you teaching your kid?
But a lot of those parents are making up for things that they didn't have. That goes back to that. When parents feel like, oh, well, my mom and them didn't have me in name brand and kids used to talk about me. So all of these traumas that you had as a child is now reflecting on your child, and your kid can't read, can't tie their shoes, but he got on the latest pair of Jordans that he finna fuck up at recess today, and you finna be cussing him out when he get home today.
And this the crazy part. With the culture that we have today, kids are more accepting of other kids. I don't hear kids playing the dozens about clothes that often.
No, they're actually more keen to being
stylish,
acknowledged about people's feelings. They might not care about adults' feelings, but kids' feelings, they have really. And that is one thing that I can say that I have learned to appreciate about this generation is that they are really anti-bully. They do not like the bullying. Like our generation, you was gonna find a bully somewhere. Okay,
it was hung with the bully.
You hung with the bully, but nobody was doing. These kids like. These kids are more prone to committing suicide and things like that behind bullying than we were, which is where they are soft because we went through a lot of things. We went through hazings, like grown people hazings with bullies. Like bullies would do shit to you that, and you wouldn't talk about it. You go home, cry about it, go back to school the next day, and you're fine. But the kids nowadays are more prone to hurting themselves behind hurt feelings.
Yep.
Which does not lead you for your adult life because nothing is always going to go the way that you want it. Everybody's not going to always like you, regardless how likable you are. The world is not always going to like you.
That's so real. That's so real. And that I think that's a strong point. They don't care about material things. We do. Kids care more about the emotions and the void they're missing. And
yes.
When they feel that void, it's hard to get them on board, y'all. We got to make these kids stronger. We got to raise these kids stronger. We got to love these kids stronger. Right now, us parents, we're being soft. We're too soft on our kids, and what's that's doing? It's making tissue paper kids. Any final words, Lola?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Look, man, this is our first episode together.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you. We did this.
We did.
Don't get off. Yeah, we're gonna hang up. We're gonna brief and powwow, man. It's your boy. Go up, see Spaceship and Lola, incredible.
And it's Lola Backwood
in the building. This Straight Talk with Spaceship. So 43 soft parents make tissue paper. Don't forget, check us out Thursday. We love y'all. This will be up to 2. Hey, check out the interview Straight Talk I had with Narcissist last. It's gonna be on YouTube tonight. So y'all make sure y'all exclusive interview with Narcissist, man. We love y'all. Y'all be a blessing to somebody's life. And as always, bye.
Bye.